Things are uncertain at this time, as I think we all know. And one of the biggest themes that is playing out collectively in terms of healing is stability, the root chakra. What does stability look like for you? What does it mean? And how is it entangled with other people? That's where we see some things around pride and shame. Before you move on and say, oh, this is going to be a heavy message, I don't want to hear this right now, hear me out. Because the image that I got was a bright room, and it was Hollywood lights. It was like filming a movie. The lights were super bright, or like a photo shoot, and you couldn't see the shadows. Everything was so bright in the room that you couldn't see the shadows. The shadows were starting to encroach. I wrote a short story in college, and it was about someone who was doing basically like snuff films. And it started out with a woman making pancakes in her kitchen and feeding her child. And downstairs, there was a snuff film being videotaped. This is what I mean by the lights are so bright, we can't see the darkness. And this is the energy that we are all sitting in, the elephant in the room that no one wants to speak on. This is what's so uncomfortable right now, because we all know that the majority vote was for exactly what we are watching play out. So who was it? And that's what we are sensing the pride and the shame coming from. So the stability that I speak on is a lot of you guys stepping into power. You're learning how to step into your power. You're learning how to not allow the thought forms or egregores of the collective consciousness stop you from taking your power back, standing up, and feeling comfortable and safe in a world that is seemingly unsafe. So right now, this is all about authenticity in a way that might seem unjust almost. Like, why would we even worry about that right now? We have so much more going on. Do you know what I'm saying? So some of you might be working through your own shame and guilt to realize just how important your authenticity is to the greater whole right now. Because it is chaos and madness, yes, but in relativity, within all things relative, say it like that. You have to put things in perspective. You have to put what is happening into perspective and see just how much power you have, potential you have, to step in and create change in your own way, in a way that not only works for you, but the people around you. So this is a chance to really step up and step out. Now, that being said, that's on a personal note, but just know collectively that's the energy that's swarming. But also on a macrocosmic note, there is something that I'm hearing is underway as we speak that is going to create a massive shift in these narratives. And it might be a little that leads to something bigger, but for now, hold hope. The message before I pulled any cards today was hold your vision with show the world the real you and step into your power surrounding it. We got Aquarius and Aries energy, so Saturn and Pluto kind of ruling the macrocosmic sense of the macrocosmic energy at this time. Although we do have Jupiter shifting this week, it shifts actually tomorrow from Gemini after a year of it, and Gemini to Cancer. So how we expand, again, is going to be reliant upon our emotional stability, how fulfilled we are, how emotionally stable or taken care of we are. So again, support here in the root chakra, being affected by that. So I think before, while Jupiter was in Gemini, we had all of this kind of back and forth, panicky type energy, overthinking, and a little too much curiosity killed the cat, because there is this kind of asking and just this desire to understand what is this going to look like in the future? What is this going to look like for me? How do I navigate this? What is going to happen next, right? And if we were avoiding those questions, you might have found yourself feeling really overwhelmed by anxiety, because that's normally a sign that there's something we're not facing. There's something just looming. That's really where anxiety comes from. Just a problem that's sitting there, that is just building, but we're either not taking action or we don't know how to take action towards it. So, this has been a theme for a while now, like where, again, Jupiter expands everything it touches, where we just worry so much that we're not actually expanding. And then the fact that we're not expanding, and our money's not expanding, and our businesses aren't expanding, and, the economy's going through what they're keep saying is going to be a recession. Do you know what I'm saying? Even in that, we haven't fully seen a recession. We keep seeing signs of a recession. We haven't really seen a recession. And that's where I say be mindful of your thoughts, because your thoughts create your reality. And we're seeing how we have manifested a lot of this chaos by over focusing on it. Yes, it's important to speak out about injustice, but what's even more important is to create action that would resist, right? And I think sometimes the emotions overtake us. So that's another theme that we could see with Jupiter and Cancer, just because, our thoughts and emotions are very tied. So if there are things that you still haven't come to peace with when it comes to whatever you've been overthinking or what has driven you mad over the past year, then Jupiter and Cancer is going to test your emotional resilience. Now, my throat chakra is all of a sudden, getting affected. So give me a second. This is about Saturn and Aries. They're saying, speak up about yourself. Speak up about what you're experiencing and what you're going through. If not publicly, to other people, to your support. Talk, communicate, connect. There is a lot of that kind of energy looming because of everything else that's going on. There's this sense of my problems aren't important. I need to stomach this on my own. So much so that we're all just ticking time bombs. And that does not help the greater good or the collective consciousness. It just makes it heavier. So Saturn in Aries right now is bringing that frustration to the surface alongside Jupiter in Cancer. And you might feel huge emotional eruptions and releases throughout specifically this first month or so, as the sun moves from Gemini into Cancer throughout June. And as we get settled in Jupiter and Cancer, you might feel these rolling roller coasters of eruptions at times of emotions that have been sitting beneath the surface for a while. But the best way to help that process along is to start opening up to communicating And if not that, at least open up to the idea of it and start doing the shadow work around how that would look if you were to open up to people, you know, whether it be a therapist, a mentor, friends, family, whatever, a support group. So yeah, they're like sending off ideas for me to relay. And again, a lot of this has to do with this push towards, yes, individuality, but innovation. Change through innovation. And we can't access that if the problems from the past are still weighing on our shoulders, like burdens and heaviness and weight that we can't seem to surpass. This is density. So if we're talking quantum physics and frequency, this is density that has to be broken through for us to all rise in timelines. And we can't, it's not going to split off completely like two different Earths. So yeah, at some point there's going to be a pull even from the lowest of low. That's just science. So yeah, right now we're seeing a lot of that clashing, and really, because this is the last day that Jupiter's going to be in Gemini, it's really heavy energy. Me as a medium felt this before I even came on to record today. It was probably the most intense it's been for few weeks now, and I will say over the past few days what I have felt is collective shifts, almost like tessellations. Like if you've ever seen like a kaleidoscope and how things form and they move outward, the shapes, geometry, sacred geometry, it's kind of like that when it comes to quantum entanglement and conscious ascension or upgrading. Right? So some of you guys might get an outpouring of gifts, or you might be in, messages. You might have new gifts coming online, but you might have an outpouring of just messages like coming through your channel and very heavily, very quickly. This probably already starting to happen for most of you guys, but definitely will continue as more and more of this water energy comes online. And I will say a lot of this has to do with how you've been in denial of certain things. And again, around your emotional needs. As well as your confidence is what I'm hearing. And your ability to own and take ownership of who you are. Yeah, I'm getting really nervous as I say that. So if you've been nervous to express yourself, to, you know, access a different version of yourself, to speak out on something that you feel very passionate about, this is going to push you to do that in a positive way, but it might feel uncomfortable at first. So I will say that. We're going to clear that energy out. They're showing me a giraffe, so just remember to try and look at things from the highest perspective that you can. And I know this is hard because at times we feel it's important to educate ourselves on what's going on and to know. But sitting in something that you are not personally experiencing longer than you need to for like news and to keep up with something, to keep in touch with something, is only hurting you and everyone else that you could be helping. So yes, touch and go, touch it, hear about it, learn about it, but then how can you transmute that? And that's me just saying that's putting you in the best position to be of service if that's your concern. Being of service is not just sitting and watching content and taking on lots of content. So if you're feeling lots of shame or guilt or just feeling discomfort with the current events, again, how can you do it? How can you go about that productively? So they're showing me a glass of champagne and strawberries. Interesting image, because we're about to go into the tarot here, so it's an interesting image. I see strawberries in usually when there's something purifying around the inner child. In champagne, would relate to some kind of congratulations or celebration. But I'm also seeing Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm not sure what movie that's from, but it's where he's like tipping off that little glass of champagne. That's the type of glass I'm seeing. That's the shape of the glass. So take that as that resonates. See where this is going. As I open the deck to the Five of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups, I'm hearing the words paid in full. Something you've been working hard on will be completed, will be paid in full. Something that potentially has held you back, pushed you back, something maybe you wanted to, if you think of karmic debts like financing, like maybe you were like trying to put something off or trying to push something out longer. Some of you guys, this could be you are trying to quit a habit, an addiction, something like that. You're trying to put something completely down. For some of you, this is like losing weight. Like, I want to lose this much weight, but I'm going to give myself like 2 years to do it. Let me be realistic. There's something about, and those are just little examples, but this could be something much bigger. Kicking a habit, studying a course, paying a debt, like an actual literal debt. So something like that, but I'm just getting this sense of like, take what resonates for you when it comes to this, but something is being forced to be done faster, and this is for your highest good. So if there is something that you were like, but maybe we're gonna do this, it's fine, I'll just wait a little bit longer. I'm just hearing no, something's gonna happen faster than you think, but maybe it'll push you back a bit. Maybe it won't be on your time frame. So clarify this Five of Pentacles here. There's a Tower in reverse. That's because something outside of you is going on this week when it comes to this, where there's a building tower for someone else who you're gonna receive notice of something that works in your favor, okay? Something is working out in your favor. You just can't see this. So you might be feeling this like building discomfort. This is literally the angle that it fell out to. So it's almost like it's moving into a upward. There is something going on in the background, okay? This is not related to, it is related to you, they're saying, but in an outside form, so it's not like a direct relation. You'll know what that means for you if this reading resonates. But basically, there is some big tower going on in an external situation. And something is going to, some kind of message is going to come towards you this week about something that benefits you, works in your favor, something that's meant to assist you and help you. So I would say if you have been pushed back in some form, Five of Pentacles here, with some kind of lack in your reality, this is about support coming in. This is about effort that you didn't see in external situations, people, I would say entities like businesses. If there's anything like that you were working with or under or connected to in some way, shape, or form that was not working for you, helping you, working against you even, this was to push you in some way, shape, or form when it came to something else, or maybe that thing that's tied to it, so that you could get this. So something could happen over here. Anyway, there's something about dominoes. But anyway, this is going to bring an Ace of Cups for you, okay? Keep standing up for what you believe in and keep standing on business, and maybe even this is about boundaries with some situation, but they're saying don't crumble right now. Because something might seem like you want to crumble, don't crumble. We've got a Chariot and a Seven of Wands. Don't crumble. There's something literally coming towards you. to help push something forward and to help work in your favor. Clarify this solar plexus energy. Yeah, someone has been digging at your confidence. Okay, something about this situation was kind of there's like an authority in this situation. I'm getting the authority that's underneath another authority. So again, this is giving some kind of hierarchy in either a community, a business, an institution. But we've got a King of Wands, kind of angled in reverse here as well, that you don't see. And they're showing up and sending you some kind of Nine of Wands, like wounded energy. This is someone who's acting out of some kind of woe is me, I deserve more than I'm working for kind of thing. This is someone who is trying to do something just for selfish gain. They don't care about anyone else involved in the situation, and this has been blocking something that was meant to assist you and help you. This is where we're getting a Tower moment right here. So I'm just getting like there might be some situation, for an example, within a business. You've got people on the higher board that want to help, and then you got this person in the middle trying to mess stuff up. Okay, so again, for some of you, you don't know this is happening, and for others, you might kind of have an idea of who this could be or what this is about. I'm hearing I mean well, but I have no idea what this means for other people. King of Swords. So this could be this person and how they're showing up in some way, or this could be someone who's relaying a message for this person, or some other person involved in this business. But I just get the sense that this is a lot of masculine energy that's lacking some kind of compassion, empathy, consideration in something that involves a lot of heart, a lot of soul, a lot of love, a lot of your personal needs and stability, and a lot of your livelihood. I mean, for some of you guys, this is about a job. For some of you, this is about a housing situation. It's something in the material. And for others, this is like a looming theme when it comes to the current events. So take that as that resonates. But we have, there's been some deception. If you feel like you've known something was going on and something is off, you are on the right track, okay? So again, keep standing up for yourself or for something in the situation that you're working toward, because it is gonna come in. And I think you stepping into your power this week is so important. That's what this reading is really saying here, but you've got to do it from a place of love and confidence and acceptance and knowing that this is what you're meant to have. Do you know what I'm saying? There's something, some of you guys could get a windfall of money, some kind of unexpected payment, something that's going to assist you, something that could prop you up during a really unsturdy, unstable time. Take what resonates for you, but it just feels like there's something that's coming in. And that's why I'm hearing paid in full. This could be dualistic, like it could be on both sides of a situation. So take that as that resonates. But there is definitely a turn of events when it comes to money, finances, and feeling like your cup is full, feeling like you have enough. Now, because we have an Ace of Cups here and not an Ace of Pentacles, it doesn't give me the sense of like, for some of you guys, I'm hearing this could be a new job, but it's like a more fulfilling job and one that fills your cup and your bank account, right? One that makes sure that you're taken care of and you're not panicking. But for most of you, this is like something you've already been working on, but this was something trying to hinder it. That's why I'm getting this Ace of Cups rather than an Ace of Pentacles when there's money involved or there's something material involved. Because it feels like it's just something that you've been going at alone or something that you've been stomaching on your own, or it's something that you already have been working on, but it's just something impeding that work. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's going to shift through, Jupiter shifting into Cancer, Mercury's in Cancer now, and some kind of sense of fulfillment and support here. Now the energy is really hot. There's this shedding energy present with all of this going on, this shedding of density. So that is going to mean heat in energetic terms. So some of you guys, like especially those of you more sensitive, you might be feeling heat. You might be getting like prickles in the skin and feeling like this discomfort. That is you shedding. Okay, so focus on the positive as you go through this, because this can be, it can lead to discomfort. I'm hearing there's a lot of shame leaving the building this week. So a lot of you guys, if you've been trying to clear something, especially generationally, or clear something from your past, there is a lot of shame leaving the building this week that you guys have been working towards clearing. And it's because of this looming energy, this person, this situation, this business, whatever it is, this institution in the external that's been trying to basically interfere with something for you. Again, it maybe wasn't direct, but it's still trying to interfere in some way. That's leaving. That's coming to some kind of ending. So I'm hearing something about claims court. Like there's something like that. So you could have a legal situation. Take what resonates for you, but there's just something here that's like, you're gonna be moving on from this and it's not going to continue to nag. So that is coming this week. They want me to end the reading there. Page of Swords, that is your challenge card, because this is going to be a delayed message and you're probably curious about what is coming next, when it's coming, what's gonna happen, what's going on. Here's the challenge with this. Try not to think about it too much. Work on the law of assumption in the situation and work on yourself. The whole point of all of this is to get you in a better emotional state. So you worrying about this and trying to figure it out and dig into everything and do your own readings and trying to then figure out who, what, when, where, why is only going to make you more, it's only going to drive you crazy. So look at it as, again, they're saying champagne. Do you want to ruin the party before you get the champagne? Do you know what I'm saying? There's something about the strawberries and champagne here. It's a celebration for the inner child. Do you want to take that away from yourself, the celebration, the fun, the congratulations before it happens, by worrying your way to it? Also, again, it could dampen the experience. There's something about quantum physics here, and what you give is what you get, is what they're saying. So with that being said, we're going to clear that energy and see if there's any final messages. If you've been concerned, if this is specifically for those who you are over curious about everyone and everything involved, I'm hearing do what you need to do for you. There is, again, there's something leaving, someone leaving, something being put to rest, some sword being put down, and I'm just hearing do what you need to do for you. Stop worrying about the rest. Stop worrying about everything else. And actually, I'm hearing someone say thank you, and I feel like this is coming from someone that you wouldn't expect a thank you from. So yeah, stop worrying. Give yourself what you need this week, specifically emotionally, but prioritize yourself and trust that everything's gonna work out. But yeah, expect some big shift in some kind of material situation, but also the energy itself. Take care.